So last summer, like when everybody was doing projects, my friend Bob Harmon had a project, and I don't know if this was a voluntary thing or maybe he was told to do it, but he was supposed to minimize or minimalize or clear stuff out. So he had these speakers that he had from high school that weren't working. So he gave them to another one of our friends who apparently was in search of a project, Scott Dorn, and Scott rebuilt the speakers and was like really proud of it. And we were trading messages about it, and he wasn't sure what to do with them. And I said, well, I've got this stereo system in my home office that I haven't uh, used, probably in 20 years. And, maybe it would be fun to relocate it upstairs and in turn what used to be the girls' playroom into, a Beats laboratory. So he brought the speakers over, I got the speakers, and then these are all my components. And this is what people used to have. They used to have components. So this, and this, first of all, the wire, the original speaker wire, this was salvaged from the USS Maine, where it sat on the bottom of the harbor in Havana. It's that old. The tuner dates back to, I think, the mid 1980s when I was living in Uptown. The CD player was, I think, from 1990. When I worked at a radio station in Charlotte, we did a promotion and I came home with a CD player. Probably the last person in 1990 to get a CD player. The cassette deck, that's from, there was a sticker on the side from like 1982 in Portland, Oregon, when I lived out there. The turntable is from early 90s. I got it in San Francisco because the previous turntable had just been wrecked and smashed and stuff like that. And then the crux of the system, the center point of the system is this amp, which goes back to when I was in high school. Now the amp actually came with, I got them at a place called Sound of Music. It's over near Southdale. And stereo stores used to have this great smell. It was like a used car kind of smell. So the amp came with, and this is a great lesson for the kids, these two speakers. And the speakers were 75% off because they had been damaged in shipping. And they had wooden cabinets. And the damage was just basically some flaking of the wood on one corner. And then with one of the other speakers, there was like a discoloration in the wood. So for serious mid to late 70s audiophile stereo Nazis, this would have been unacceptable. 75% off. Those ended up in a dumpster behind an apartment building in Charlotte, North Carolina, because they didn't fit in our Ryder truck when we moved to San Francisco. The amp and the speakers I bought with money that I had made bussing tables at a place called The Brothers. And then some of the money, I had, my little brother had a paper route, and he didn't like getting up early in the morning, so I did his paper route a lot. So this amp goes back to the late 70s. So before I had my children bring my 600-pound stereo cabinet upstairs, I wanted to test this out. I've got a little bit of a hum on the amp that can be worked out. It's fine with the CD player, it just kind of is a little bit with the turntable. So I wanted to have the inaugural song, The Green Grass and High Tides from the Outlaws. When I was at summer camp at Camp Jack Pine, I had another stereo that I'd inherited it from my brothers. It was made of plastic and thus could travel. So we used to just blast this Green Grass and High Tides in the camp counselor's cabin. So this is a great song for playing really loud. And another tidbit, when I was a baby DJ at KMBU at Pepperdine University, the live version of this song was 20 minutes and 41 seconds, which was just enough time for somebody to, if they parked their car in the student parking lot, the visitors parking lot next to the student union, to get the song going, run out to the car, drive down to Jack in the Box in Malibu, go through the drive-thru, get some food, drive back up the hill, park, and run back in and still get there a couple minutes before the song ended. Except for the one time when I came back and the song had been skipping at about 7 minutes and 30 seconds into it. And as a testament to how many people actually listened to me or didn't, nobody from the staff heard it and ran over to fix the song. And Nobody was calling in asking what was going on. I literally had no listeners. So I probably didn't even have to play the song to go get my frings at Jack in the Box. So we're going to start out. This is the inaugural song for the rebuilt stereo system. Now we're going to do this sitting on the ground because if you look at historical photos from the 1970s, there weren't chairs. They hadn't been invented yet. You listened to music sitting on the ground. And if you were fancy, you sometimes had bags that you would put beans in. Or like for Edina, we had potatoes. We had potato bag chairs. They were really uncomfortable, but potatoes were expensive, so it was more of a status thing. So thank you to Bob Harmon. Thank you to Scott Dorn. Thank you to Huey Thomason of the Outlaws.
Any place you only dream of, you're so